Hi everybody, this is Ed Griffin, otherwise known as Irish Ed Griffin, and I wanted to send a message to Alfonso, but also to his fans and maybe other boxers, just to try and sort of do a video hello, what we do on the forum, trying to deliver messages, say things. But there you're not live, so here you get a live video clip of Irish Ed. Well, to where it started was where it started with most everybody who has gotten to know Alfonso, and that's with the TV show. Actually, it began before that. My wife and I remember going to the movies, and they had the preview of coming attractions, and they were talking a lot about this show, The Contender. Well, I thought it was interesting. I love sports. I love boxing, martial arts, those kinds of things. And it just seemed that telling the story of the person combined two of my loves. One is for sports, boxing, etc. And the other is for telling stories, period. There's nothing that is sort of more satisfying to me than a good story, retelling a good story. Coming up and finding new insights into human behavior, because that's what we all sort of do, is experience life while we're here. We make it up as we go along. Some of us plan better than others, but in any case, it's those decisions we make and the things we do, our actions, the way we deal with adversity. So that intrigued me. I will never forget the time on the show that he stepped forward to say he would fight, and that he would fight Peter Manfredo. I mean, like most of you who have really become Alfonso fans, that was just the quiet confidence that he had, and that he conveyed to all the other people and the other fighters on the West, that he could fight Peter and he could beat him, was really I really wanted to see whether he could or not. Is this a guy who's really got insight into himself and others, and can objectively assess where he fits, or is this a guy who's sort of just taking a shot at it? And whichever one it is, and it's more the former than the latter, I think, he did it. And I sat there in stunned silence and watched how he and his family were with each other, and I was just intrigued by the guy. I've gotten to know him. Obviously, many of you know I've written a manuscript that kind of tracks his whole life, centers around the Contender show, and that whole process that led up to him fighting Jesse for the third place prize. And a lot has gone on in between. By virtue of just that interest in Alfonso as a person and as a fighter, I've just gotten completely involved in the sport of boxing in a way that I had no idea that I would. And it's been a great experience for me emotionally. Gotten to meet people that I never thought I would meet, be in places I didn't think I would be. But it's also physically and every other way, it's been positive. So just that interest in him and who he is and what he gives back and friendship has also helped change my life. I mean, even though I'm carrying some extra weight, for a guy who's been paralyzed and had cancer twice, I can do 3, 4, sometimes 5 rounds of mitts with Freddie Roach's brother Pepper. I've learned a lot of technique. I can throw a pretty decent punch. It started at Trinity Boxing Club. I was working in New York even as I was writing the manuscript after Alfonso and I met. And so I went to Trinity Boxing Club, Martin Snow, John Snow, and those guys, which is just a stone's throw away from where the World Trade Centers were. So I was living in New York, I'd walk to work and come back, and there would be the World Trade Center, the huge hole and the memorial and whatnot. And then there was the little Irish boxing club, the Trinity Boxing Club. And so I'd go in there after work and work out. And those guys took me under their wing and taught me a lot of basics and told me to come see Freddie Roach when I came back west, and I did. And Freddie and I and all the folks down at the Wild Card we've gotten to know each other quite well. So you know, it's just been an amazing process. And, you know, I've gone to some of Alfonso's private, you know, his birthday party and things like that, and he's gotten to know my family. His family came up when my wife and I were both ailing, and we watched a boxing match. I think Fernando Vargas. They brought some food here. It was just a great time, and look forward to many more of those. And I look forward to being friends with Alfonso and helping him in any way that I might possibly help long after his boxing career is over, to become just a family friend, like a son of sorts. You know, I've got two boys, 32 and 28, and they're both very good athletes, and in their respective sports have done quite well. So, you know, that's the thumbnail sketch of why. I mean, I think he's a very positive guy, and he's inspirational. That's what I try to include in the manuscript. Nothing negative. There's no point for anything negative. It's just about how can you inspire people to accomplish maybe more than they thought they could. And there are many emails and tales that came his direction, and quiet little things that he's done to help people, including my buddy who just passed away back in Kansas City, Joe Young. Great buddy, a great guy, and Alfonso emailed him and, you know, sent some inspirational messages to him, and it meant a lot to Joe. He was in hospice care when he got it, and when I gave him a picture of Alfonso and he connected that to the emails, he was really, really deeply touched, spiritually touched. So, you know, I can go on and on. I expect Alfonso to go on and do a lot of really great things in his life, and certainly still has more to do in the ring. Let me just show you a couple of the people he's introduced to me along the way, or I've gotten to know because of him. Here's one of my all-time favorite boxers. This is Barry McGuigan. For those of you who are movie fans, the movie The Boxer is about this Irish boxer and dealing with the problems between Northern Ireland and the Republic South. And it says, the Irish Ed Griffin, keep punching, champ. Signed, Barry McGuigan. That's pretty impressive. From the Wild Card Boxing Gym, my friend James Toney. He says to Grandpa Ed, James Toney. Some funny stories about this guy. He's a character. And watching him spar, how he works on the inside is just amazing. Fabulous boxer, and I think a great guy. Really nice guy. He doesn't want anybody to know he's a great guy. And of course, you all know this fella. I mean, did I ever think I would meet Sugar Ray Leonard? The answer is a resounding no. But I've gotten to know him. Here's my Irish brother by another mother, Freddie Roach. And not too much more you can say about Freddie other than he's had a great run with Manny Pacquiao. He has this guy Amir Khan now. He's had a lot of great fighters. And, you know, he had Oscar for that big fight. And